Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of our PAC Politics Podcast. Our podcast is brought to you by our organization, our United Resource PAC. If you don't know, we are a tax-exempt political organization. I'm your host, guys, Brittany McDowell, and once again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Today, we are talking about a day that a lot of us, given what we've talked about and seen over the last few months, we weren't really sure it would happen, but that day is finally here. People are starting to receive their $600 stimulus checks. These stimulus checks have been sent out. And so on today's show, we're going to look at very briefly when you can expect to get your stimulus check. I also am going to share with you a resource that will help you track your $600 stimulus payment. And no, I'm not talking about irs.gov and the Where's My Payment tool. That is still a deal, and that is still will be in play. That just hasn't been rolled out yet. So I'm talking about something completely different. And actually, let me mention something else to you. You know, we are a resource. A resource is in our name, right? Our United Resource PAC. And one of the things that we are committed to doing from this show going forward is literally every episode, we want to provide you with a resource that you can use, you can take away. We want you to be able to take away more than just the information presented on the show. So that's something new. Look forward to it today. And again, the resource today is this tracker tool. So if it's not the irs.gov website and their Where's My Payment tool, what is it? Basically, it's an online resource. You know what? I'm not going to do that now. I am going to tell you about that later. So let's go ahead. Let's get this show started. Do you want me to tell you about the tool? Because I can collectively hear some of you like, oh, Brittany, really? Just tell me about... Oh, okay. Look. I'm feeling generous. It's not the irs.gov tool, as I previously mentioned. What it is, again, is it's an online resource, which I already told you, right? And it's just for your average everyday American. It's not, something that you've got to pay for. It's literally just a website. And it will just very generally, not as specifically as the Where's My Payment tool on irs.gov, very generally, it will help you know where your payment is, right? To use this payment, you should do it, if not today, over the next few days, because basically how it works is it's a list of banks across the country, and they are keeping track of people who are reporting the actual receiving of their stimulus payments. So, for instance, Wells Fargo is on there, Bank of America, Navy Federal Credit Union. I mean, all hosts of banks and credit unions are on there, and you'll see, okay, have they been reported to actually have sent out payments at this point? And it literally will surprise you the number of banks, and not even banks, like Cash App is on there. I think I saw Venmo, right? The Walmart Money Card. So a whole host of financial institutions and services are on this list, and it is updated often. It's got compiled very quickly, and it's been updated several times since people started receiving payments last night. So again, pretty much once they roll out the Where's My Payment tool on irs.gov, this isn't a resource that you will necessarily need because you'll get very specific information related to you. But this tool will generally help you. Again, while the irs.gov Where's My tool is not available, so you can just kind of have a general idea about, okay, have people at my bank started receiving payments? Even if you haven't yet, you can at least have some sort of hope in knowing that, oh, okay, I bank with Bank of America and they've started actually receiving payments. So use it because it's, again, going to give you general information, but information that will help you nonetheless, so you can know when you'll receive your economic impact payment. aka stimulus payment. It's a simple to use resource. You literally just scroll down and find the name of your bank and see if they've reportedly started sending out stimulus payments. So I'll tell you about that resource, where to go to find it. It's not in the description box. I'll tell you how to get to it as we get on in the show. So let me stop rambling. Let's jump in and we'll jump out because, again, I promise this will not be a long episode. Hey, this is Brittany. Just wanted to shoot you a quick reminder. Look in the description box of this episode and you can find a link to our website. On our website, you can find our latest blog posts. You can find our contact information. If you even want to make a contribution, you can go over there and do that as well. You can find out the policies we are looking at and targeting as an organization. You know, I say all the time that we are a tax-exempt political organization. If you want to know more about that, again, go on over to our website, our-pack.com, where you can find out everything you want to know. You can do everything you want to do. We will gladly welcome you on our website with open arms. Again, check out our website in the description box below. All right, so we are going to make this very quick because there's not a whole lot to say here. Now, surprisingly, I could have done today's show about so much more because this is kind of a big news day if you know about several things, but I'm not going to talk about it. But look, when it comes to the $600 stimulus checks, they have started going out as of last night per Steve Mnuchin. Now, I'm saying last night, but realistically, I'm talking about 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when people started kind of seeing those payments actually hit their bank accounts. Now, don't freak out if you haven't been paid. We're like 1 day into this, right? Which is super amazing when you consider the kerfluffling that happened last time around, right? Just that was an utter cluster beep, right? But it literally seems as if they've got their heads screwed on straight, despite what we know about what's going on that I'm not going to talk about right now. But despite, all of the insanity in Washington, they did apparently learn from the last go around. So we are seeing a more expeditious rollout this time around. So do not freak out if you haven't received a payment. If it makes you feel any better, I haven't received a payment. I don't know anybody who has received a payment, but they started deposits last night. Paper checks, if you were getting them for whatever reason, those will start going out today. I personally, this is just kind of a personal thing. You can go on to the Postal Service's website and actually sign up to get notifications of deliveries to your house, and they can actually tell you the check is not the check, the delivery item, whoever the sender is, the name and kind of where it's coming from. Obviously, they didn't open your mail, they don't know what's in it, but you'll see something like, oh, Treasury. So I would encourage you, if you either plan to or you just anticipate getting a paper check, maybe that's something you want to sign up for. And I would recommend it not just that way you can kind of know and have foresight about you actually getting a check if that's the route you're going, but also because remember, one of the issues that they had last time was that at a certain point, they started sending out debit cards to people. I guess they just either assumed people didn't have debit cards or it was easier for whatever the case might be. And a lot of people, given how the envelope looked, they actually just threw it away and threw away their debit cards. So I might advise you to kind of get that. And then also it's good to know too. So that way, again, if you're getting a check mailed, you can kind of keep an eye on your mailbox and not have people breaking into your mail and kind of know, hey, I got to watch my mailbox because people are out there and might be trying to steal my stimulus check. Anywho, just kind of a random note. But don't freak out. I would say, some of you might be pleasantly surprised tonight, Friday night, early Saturday morning when you wake up. Obviously, we won't see any activity from the banks on Sundays. But if you don't see anything the next day or two, hold your horses, as my grandmother says, and wait until next week, because next week should be a pretty big week, a super duper rollout. But they have started the rollout as of last night. That's basically all I wanted to say in this segment. Like, there's really not much to add. So hold that hope. I know it's not much, but 600 is better than nothing. All right, so that resource that I mentioned on the intro, or during the intro of today's episode, I didn't tell you how you can actually get to that resource. We want to share that resource with you, and we will do that very simply. All you have to do in the description box of this episode is look down below. You'll find a link to our mailing list. Join our mailing list, and immediately after you join the email list, we'll shoot you back with an email that has a link to that resource. So this is, obviously some people may be like, oh my gosh, Brittany, just give us the link. But, we're willing to find the resources. But, in exchange, we'd like to establish a connection with you. We'd like to establish a relationship with you. We won't bug. We won't be in your mailbox all the time. This is just kind of a, hey, come to the dance with us and we'll give you something in exchange. We're willing to do something strange for a little bit of change. But I mean, it's not really change. It's just your email address. All right, so that is the show for today. It's a quick show. I told you I'd be in, I'd be out. I really just wanted to tell you about the checks, right? Now, I know you're probably scratching your head and you're like, Brittany, you're really not going to talk about it? Like, today is the day you're not going to talk about it. No, I'm not talking about it. If you're like, what the heck are you talking about? I'm talking about the supposed hostage situation, not a literal hostage situation, but apparently if you've been paying attention over the last few days, you saw the House of Representatives pass the bill for $2,000. President, like, sign me up, I'm down. And the Senate, it was a kerfluffle over there. Essentially, Bernie Sanders was like, look, let's bring it up. Mitch McConnell was like, nah, sit down. And so he did that, and it stopped everything in its tracks instantaneously. But today is the day when Bernie Sanders is going to be waltzing up in there at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and saying, look, y'all ain't going nowhere if we don't vote on this, okay? Again, it's not literally a hostage situation, but it's a situation that is going to hopefully be spectacular, nonetheless, given what we are likely to see kind of legislatively, or when it comes to Congress. But anywho, if you're interested in some like C-SPAN type showdown, if you're interested in that kind of PBS live action, man, it's beautiful stuff. Tune in today, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not talking about it, so I'm going to stop talking about it because I told you I wasn't going to talk about it. All right, guys, so this wraps up our show, our last show for the year. Wow, like we're done for 2020. I'm so ready to throw this year in the trash, set it on fire, and mic drop, right? Like this has been a horrible, horrible year. Just kind of one more kind of housekeeping thing that I want to mention before I let you go. I told you it would be quick, but I'm known for rambling, and so Brittany, shut up. Look, so we are not going to be around on Friday, and we also aren't going to be around on Monday. We're not working on Mondays with this Monday, next Monday, or this Friday. So you won't see me, you won't hear me, but I will be back next Wednesday. So I will be on a week-long hiatus. I will see you next week, next year, and next month, all at the same time. I hope I just blew your mind. Have a good one. Stay safe. Wear your hazmat suit.